Hello ladies and gentlemen, James here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the ZTE Blade V7. So I think you can get a black or a gold colour one, depending on your choice. I'll put some links in the description. If you haven't seen the unboxing video already, I'll put it in the description. So today I'm going to be reviewing the ZTE Blade V7. It's an Android smartphone with a 5.2 inch display, a 13 megapixel rear camera and a 5 megapixel front facing camera. Perfect for all you selfie lovers. So the first thing you notice of this phone is that it is extremely light. Even though it has a metal unibody, it is extremely light. It's nice and comfortable to hold. It's got sort of rounded edges around the glass in the front and rounded edges on the side bezels, so it's nice and comfortable to hold in the hand. So it feels nice and high quality in the hand. It seems solidly built. Lovely. So, on the left here is the indicator light, in the centre is the earpiece, and on the right is the front camera for selfies. Obviously in the middle is the touch screen, the 5.2 inch IPS display with 1080p resolution. So one of my favourite features already of this phone is the capacitive touch buttons. Usually phones these days have buttons on the screen, so you've got the back, home and recent apps key on the screen. To be honest, it just takes up room on the display. Don't you really want to be using that for, like, I don't know, actually using your phone, use the full display? It works alright for left and right handed people. So you got the back key, you got the home key and the recent apps key, but you can't actually switch those around, so you don't have to have them in that order. On this side is the volume up and down buttons. There's nothing much else on this side. So on the back of the phone is the 13 megapixel rear camera, and just underneath is the dual flash. So as you can see, the LEDs are a little bit like different colours, so I'm guessing you can do cold and warm white. So you got the nice aluminium back on it. On the bottom here you can see some speaker grills and a micro USB charging port. It's a shame how they didn't go for USB-C, because a lot of things now are coming with USB-C at last. There's no doubt about it that some of this design does look quite Apple-like. But another thing that looks very Apple-like is, where's the headphone jack? They haven't removed it, have they? Nope, not to worry. On the top here you can see there's the headphone jack and a microphone next to it as well. I think that's for the camera. On the bottom, I think one of these grills is actually a microphone, because I think it's just a mono speaker. Even though it's got two grills, I think it's a mono speaker. So on this side here, you've got the nano SIM and micro SDHC card. So that means high capacity. So it can take anything up to 32 gigabytes. Or you can put two nano SIMs in, maybe one for home, one for business. So I'm not sure if you can see that tiny little writing at the bottom, but it does say designed by Munich Design Center. So they obviously designed this phone. And obviously in the middle, you've got that sort of, it's like a shiny ZTE logo, which is nice little touch. Now what I'm going to do is go through it and see all the features. So now we've gone through the phone, let's turn it on. That's what we're all waiting for. So you can see ZTE logo, powered by Android. This Android version is Android 6.0, so that's Marshmallow. This phone has 16 gigabytes internal storage, and obviously there's always cloud storage available, which is probably more convenient because then you can sync it up to all your devices. Whilst this phone starts up, I'll just talk to you briefly about my new favourite cloud storage. It's called P-Cloud. So to start off with, you can get 10 gigabytes for free. That's cool. But if you want to boost it up a little bit more, you can go all the way to 500 gigabytes for only $3.99. If you think, well, I use so much storage, I've got loads of video, loads of pictures, loads of music, you can up it all the way to 2 terabytes for just $7.99. So if you're interested in P-Cloud, I've got an affiliated link in the description. So I'm not going to lie, it did take a long while to start up. Hopefully that's just the first time starting up that it takes a little bit longer. So with all Android things, you've got the welcome screen, you can select your language and then press next. So in this step you have to insert your nano SIM card if you haven't done so already. I haven't done so, so I'll just do that now because I forgot. So I've got a new SIM card for this phone, so I'll just go ahead and open that. Try and get out this little card. There we go. So in the unboxing video, you might have seen the packaging. We've got this little pin here, so like a lot of phones these days, the back of the phone does not come off. You can't replace the battery. Little bit annoying. It's one of those things that I love about old phones, like old mobile phones. You can just take the cover off, but hopefully nothing goes wrong. I think ZTE comes with a 2-year warranty, so we'll just get this SIM card pin out so we can open the little tray. So as you can see, there's a tiny little hole. Just put the pin and it should pop out. There we go, just pull that out. So as you can see on this little tray, you've got the position to put the nano SIM and a micro SD card, or you can put 2 nano SIMs. So I do have a micro SD card. I think before I put it in this new phone, I'll clear it out because I think it's pretty much full. So to put it back in, you just press it in there. You don't need the pin. You just pop it in and press it shut, and it's sorted. So here you can select your Wi-Fi network. It's pretty simple. You just find one with either your name or your provider's name on it. So just checking the connection, it can take up to 2 minutes. So date and time, you know what date and time is like. You just select your time zone and it should come up automatically with the date and time, which is nice. Although if it is wrong, you can just set it manually. So this step should be really easy. If you know your own name, just pop it in there. Sorted. So set up email. If you've got an email account, I'm sure everyone does, you can hook up it to your phone. Protect your phone so you can prevent others from using your phone, because no one wants other people using your phone. So one thing on this phone, it doesn't have a fingerprint sensor. It's a little bit annoying, but you can still use your normal methods. You can use a PIN, pattern, or password. I won't show you my pattern because obviously you'll try and nick my phone or something horrible. So here's notifications. When your device is locked, how do you want to see notifications? So you can either show all the notifications, so it's everything, even the really embarrassing stuff, or you can hide the sensitive information. If you don't want notifications to show on your lock screen at all, you can just say don't show any notifications. So before you use your phone, you might want to agree or disagree to certain Google services. So you've got help apps find your location. You can improve location accuracy. You can help improve your Android experience by automatically sending diagnostic and usage data to Google. So if you're worried about that, you can untick or check, or however you say it. So now I've set the phone up, which is like the boring bit. Now I can go through the features and see what it's like. So we're sorted. Welcome. Wallpapers, widgets and settings. Touch and hold background to customize. So this is all default. All the apps, all the backgrounds, everything is all as the phone came with. The only difference is that it has a free app because that's my mobile provider. Anything else should just be completely normal to the phone. So my camera's white balance makes the screen look really sort of blue looking. It doesn't look like that in real life. It actually has really nice sort of vibrant colours, so apologies for that. One thing you do notice with the screen, it looks really nice and clear. Obviously it's a 5.2 inch IPS display and it's 1080p, so it's 400 and I can't remember how much. This is why I should have done a script, isn't it? Note to editing self, put the pixels per inch at the bottom right here. So there's a few apps you get on here which either ZTE or my mobile phone provider put onto the phone, like Amazon Video, Yelp, eBay, all that sort of stuff. So we'll just swipe from the top here and click that little cog, which is the settings icon. We'll scroll right to the bottom to About Phone and find out more about it. So as you can see here, the model number is ZTE Blade V7, which is lucky. The Android version is 6.0, so that's Marshmallow. So if you tap the Android version a few times, you'll get this nice little marshmallow thing. And silly thing that I did when recording this video, I forgot to play the all-important Marshmallow Flappy Bird game. So, with all the magic of editing, what I'm going to do, I'm going to record my screen instead. So to play Android's version of Flappy Birds, you just scroll from the top of the screen and go to the bottom About Phone. I'm literally doing this right now as I'm recording this voiceover, so that's interesting. So we'll see exactly what happens. What is it? Android version. So if you tap Android version here, it'll come up with that little marshmallow sign. I think if you hold it down, there you go. So if you hold it down, you get the game. So as you can see, our score is 0, so obviously we haven't played it. So to play this game, this is like a little Easter egg. You just press this play button. 3, 2, 1, go. So, no. That was me literally raging in real life. Let's try again. I hate this game. I hate this game so much. Let's try once more. Hey, what? I thought I made it past the first marshmallow. I haven't played Flappy Girl. Flappy Girl? What? I haven't played Flappy Bird in a while, and this is why. Okay. No. This game is evil. That was a bit unfair, that was really low down. Okay. I can't do this. Do you know what? This is going to be a long video, isn't it? Let's see if I can get one at least. Dear me. Oh, yeah, we got one. Oh, yeah. Oh, we got two. Oh, this is exciting. Oh, that's the best we're going to do, is two. Oh dear. No, I don't want to play anymore. Go away. So yeah, that was exciting, if not a little bit disastrous. So that is the Easter egg mini game. So if you've forgotten to download any games for your phone, you've always got that as a backup option. But trust me, it will probably make you mad and possibly make you break your phone. I'm just saying. Yeah, I know. You're going to be posting comments saying, I got 10,002 and you only got 2. You're rubbish. You suck. So let's settle down and have a look at the camera. So here we are, we've got the camera, and as you can see, this is my desk. Don't worry, I'm going to be taking better pictures than this. This is just literally whilst I'm here. So what interesting wonders have I got to take pictures of? I know, let's take a picture of the USB cable, that would do. So, take a picture. That's actually pretty good actually, that looks quite impressive. I was thinking it was going to look a bit crap, but... Yep, you can see the detail in there, it looks very nice. So all the pictures I've taken of this camera, I've uploaded to pCloud so you can have a look at it for yourself. So you can do whatever you like, you can print it out, you can stick it on your wall, you can use it as your wallpaper, stick it to the fridge. And I'll be uploading in the full resolution, so the files might be pretty big, but you get the full scale picture. Unedited, uncropped, all original. So one cool feature about this camera app is if you tap that little circle icon in the corner, you can get all these Instagram-like vintage picture filters. So you got gorgeous, sepia, fresh, aqua, all your favourites. So I'll just try out sepia and find something to take a picture with. What about this pine cone? That'll do. So I'll just line up the picture and snap. It looks just like you've taken it with an old camera. So let's have a quick look through the menus. So at the top we're at the little control icon. So you've got the shutter sound on and off, store location, I'm not sure what that is it on and off? Is it for like SD card or something? Face beauty, that basically is like a virtual sort of airbrush effect. Exposure, you can turn it up and down manually so you get a brighter or darker picture. Scene mode, let's have a look at those. So you've got auto, night, sunset, party, portrait, landscape, beach, snow, steady photo, fireworks, sports and candlelight. So what the scene mode is for is basically if you're taking a picture of a specific object, it just adjusts the picture accordingly to what settings they recommend to hopefully get you the best picture. So you're probably sure what white balance is. It basically just adjusts the picture, so if you've got a certain type of lighting it looks better, so you've got a choice of auto or incandescent, daylight, fluorescent, cloudy or twilight. Nope, that doesn't put sparkles and everything. So if you go into image properties, you can see the sharpness, hue, saturation, brightness and contrast, so you can adjust those low, medium or high. And at the bottom, anti-flicker, which is basically if your country uses 50Hz like the UK or if it uses 60Hz like the US. I don't know if you ever tried filming something and you've got some sort of lighting which makes it go all flickery. That's because it is a different frequency, so you need to adjust it to either 50 or 60Hz. And auto just sort of automatically figures it out for itself, or you can just disable the anti-flicker altogether. Next up, the camera icon. So at the top we've got volume key control, which basically means you can use the down volume button to take a picture. You've got anti-shake, which tries to reduce any shaking you've got to make sure your pictures are a little bit more stable. So face detection, so when you point your photo up, say if you're taking a picture of 4 different people, you'll get little squares around their heads. And the idea is that it tries to adjust the focus and the exposure for the people's faces to make the picture come out better. So gesture shot is so you can do like a gesture to take a picture. Smile shot is so you can do a cheesy grin. I'm not sure how cheesy the grin actually has to be to take the picture. Auto scene detection, basically as you saw in the previous menu, it basically changes the scene to like if you're taking a landscape or portrait, all that sort of thing. So self timer, that's basically what happened when people wanted to take pictures before selfie sticks were a thing. Obviously it still works fine now, but I'm not sure how much people still use self timer. But you get the idea. You just try and balance it somewhere and hopefully your phone doesn't fall down. Set it for like 10 seconds or whatever, run back to where you are, pretend you haven't just ran about 10 miles and smile before it takes the picture. Quite often the funny thing is that before you get there it takes the picture and then it's all a bit So capture number, basically this is a burst mode, so at the moment it says 40 shots or you got 60 shots. What happens if you hold down the camera button, it will take loads of pictures at once, like loads at once, and you'll just have a large collection of pictures. So next up is the picture size. So you've got 13 megapixels, and you say if you're running out of space, you can reduce this picture size all the way down to QVGA, so that's like a quarter VGA. I think there used to be a time where VGA used to be like the best quality camera you can get on the phone. Everyone thought it was brilliant, it was pretty impressive, but I mean, now it's no comparison against 13 megapixels. One thing to bear in mind, if you upload to social media like Facebook or Instagram, they compress your pictures down, they I think the resolution is like 2 megapixels or something. Once they compress it down, they reduce the quality to make it faster when they're using their apps. So I'll keep it on 30 megapixels so I'll get the best quality pictures. So underneath here is the preview size, and it's a bit misleading. It's not really just the preview, it's actually the whole picture. So you might be thinking, why on earth is this picture not widescreen? That's because it's on standard 4x3 mode. The reason why they've put it on that mode is a bit sneaky, because on 4x3 you can take 13 megapixel photos, whereas if you put it on full screen mode, I think it's at 9.5 megapixels or something. So finally, the video settings, you've got noise reduction, which basically adjusts the sound to stop any sort of external noise. Next up, you've got EIS, which is electronic image stabilization. What it does is, if you could imagine when you're taking a video, imagine a square is inside your video that you're recording, and it's constantly moving around every time you wobble your hand, and it basically tries to filter out all that motion. Underneath, microphone on and off is pretty much self-explanatory. So audio mode, you've got a choice of meeting or normal. I'm not quite sure what that is, to just stop all the beeps or something, I don't know. Who knows? So this camera can also do time-lapse, so you've got a choice out of 1.5 to 2.5, 3, 5 or 10 seconds. So you probably know what a time-lapse is. I don't know if you've ever seen like ones they have on TV, they show cars moving really quickly through traffic, like that sort of thing. Basically, it just takes one picture every, say, 10 seconds, for example, and at the end of it, you end up with a video. So it creates the video, and it looks like everything's moving really quickly. So finally, video quality adjusts the bitrate of the video. So basically, what that means is the lower the bitrate, the less quality, but then you can fit more on your phone, or fine, which is the best quality, the highest bitrate. So you get the best quality video, but then it takes up more storage. So now I'm going to go outside and test out the camera, because honestly there's not really anything interesting to test out in here, so might as well test it outside. Annoyingly, there's some sort of alarm going on outside. So here's a pretty cool looking petunia. I'll just go and take a picture of this. So just tap to focus and snap. So here's the finished photo. It looks really nice. Nice clear picture, nice bright colours. So the camera, I think personally, is the best thing about this phone. It's really good quality. I'm actually quite pleased with these photos. So next up, I'll do something just to confuse the autofocus, see what it focuses in, either the plants or the grass. So as you can see, the grass looks nice and sharp, blurred a little bit of the plants in the background, which is kind of what I wanted, so you get the close-up look, which is cool. There we go, sorted. So here we go, it's got to happen, a quick selfie. Again, you can download this photo if you want. I'm not sure that anyone would, but... This is a test of the front-facing camera, all on default settings. It is windy today, so it probably sounds... Well, you probably can't even hear me because it's so windy out here, to be honest. I tried recording before, but it was also really windy, so you can't really win with the weather. I have no idea if I'm in shot or not, I can't see, because this is the rear camera, so this is this video on default settings on the rear camera. What are you doing? Are you chilling out? You got a ballie in your mouth? So this video is on fine mode, the rest were recorded in high quality. I don't know if there's any noticeable difference as such. This is with electronic image stabilization on, with electronic image stabilizer turned off. Good boy, are you surrounding in tennis balls and that green bone thing? Wow, this is using the cool image filter. Is noise reduction off? I'm not sure if there's any noticeable difference whether I'm louder or quieter. All that I know is that it's windy out here. So like a lot of Android phones, you've got like a few editing options, so I'll just find this picture. So yeah, that's a picture of Oscar, and I'm going to go ahead and edit it. So all you have to do is press that little menu button at the top, it looks like 3 little dots, and then select edit. So as you can see here, it's got lots of vintage Instagram-like filters. So you've got like punch, vintage, black and white, all your favourites. Next up, you've got some frames. So you've got like your teared paper, you've got your Polaroid picture-looking photos. Next up, you've got your crop. So it's quite fun to play around with this, get the sort of look you want. The good thing is that if you crop your picture, it's not going to crop the border off after, because that would be a bit pointless if you just added a border and then you crop it out. What it does, it just crops the picture and then readjusts the border as you like. So on this menu as well, you've also got an option you can draw and scribble in your photos. So I'll just write Oscar. It's brilliant handwriting, I know. So I'm sure you can get more creative than I'm getting. This is just literally an example, a quick example for the tutorial. You can make this look a lot better, but it looks right. So if you want to tweak your picture afterwards, on the final menu, I forgot to show this, which is a bit annoying. You can adjust the brightness, contrast, saturation, all that sort of thing, similar to Instagram, where you can sort of fine tune your picture, make it look as good as possible. One thing I would advise is not to use the save button. It is really weird because the save button overwrites the existing picture. So obviously we're getting a bit creative with this picture. We might just still want the original one back. So instead of saving, I go up here and I export the image. You can adjust the size and the quality, and then instead of overwriting it, it will just create another picture. Just remember not to save at the end. It is a bit weird. I wish they would change it so it doesn't overwrite your existing picture. So there you go. There's my result. I'm actually quite happy with that. It's quite cool. There's Oscar sitting very proudly with his ball. So like I said before, it has a lot of apps on here which don't generally come with default Android, like Deezer, eBay, all that sort of thing. So if you don't want these apps on your phone, you can always go ahead and delete them and sorted. So let's head over to our favourite app in the whole universe, YouTube. Let's go into there. A new version of YouTube is available. We'll skip that. Do that later. So let's search for no copyright sounds. So we've got some music to play on the phone speakers, see what it sounds like. Let's try this. Prismo Hold On, NCS official video. So the sound quality is pretty good. I don't know if it comes across well in video, but one thing to bear in mind, it is just mono. There's no speaker either side. It would be nicer if it had front-facing sort of stereo speakers, but for this price you really can't expect too much. And let's have a look at the torch. See how bright the LED lights are on the back. Yeah, they are pretty bright. I don't know if it comes across well. Obviously I'm shining it on a black desk. It's probably not the best test in the world, but you can see that it's got a fair brightness to it and it's not too harsh looking. The torch is like a warm white look. So I know this camera setting really isn't giving this screen a lot of justice, but anyway, I'll show you the clarity of the screen by showing you a Hdtv demo. So as you can see, the colours look lush, they look brilliant, really nice vibrant colours. Good contrast to the screen as well. It's really sharp as well because 1080p display on a screen this size is really clear. You can't see any pixels or anything. I just realised I've had loads of apps open, I haven't closed anything. If you scroll right to the bottom, you'll see this little stacked rectangle like icon. If you just press that, it will remove all the apps at once. At least it's given a good test of the phone's capability of multitasking. So next up, I'll try some games. So I'll try a variety of games. I'll go with like a nice complicated 3D graphic game like Real Racing 3. Give that a try. And then whilst we're here, I'll also download a puzzle game. So I know, let's check out Ketchup. Just like the annoying Android Flappy Bird game, they're so simple games, but they're so addictive, honestly. You'd be playing it once and you'd be thinking, oh, that's rubbish, and then you'd be playing it again and saying, oh, that's rubbish, and then playing it again. It's just, it is that literal cycle. Oh, look, that's something different. A fidget spinner game. I don't know, do you just literally spin a fidget spinner? A virtual one? Well, that's a thing. I'll go and try that out. So one of my favourite games from Ketchup is Don't Touch the Spikes. Again, a really simple game, but I don't know, it's one of those things where simple is often better. So whilst they download, I'll go ahead and play Real Racing. So as with all complicated 3D games these days, you download it and you haven't really downloaded anything. I remember doing that once. I've downloaded quite a few games, not actually opened any of them, go on a plane with no sort of Wi-Fi or anything, and then realising, oh dear, I can't play this one. It needs to download 400 megabytes of data. Oops. So we'll just go ahead and let this download all the data. So first up, let's play Don't Touch the Spikes. This app requires the latest version of the Google Play Games app. Really? Oh no, let's just cancel and hope for the best. And we're through, cool. So I don't know if you've played this game before, but it's really simple. It has controls similar to Flappy Bird, where you just tap the screen and your bird goes flying in the air. Each time you bounce off each side, these spikes randomly appear, and all you have to do is really simple, just don't touch those spikes. Oh, we're not doing too badly so far. Oh no, I spoke way too soon. 11 points, that's... well, at least it's more points than I got in the Android version of Flappy Bird, let's just say that. Go on, let's just play one more time. So the most important thing about this is that it plays 2D games fine. No problem. So you might be noticing that little gold sweet, or candy if you live in America. It really just is designed to distract you. I know this is really thrilling to watch. Oh, 8. I know, let's just leave it. Okay, enough of don't touch the spikes. Let's see what else we've got to play. So let's go and play fidget spinner. This should be interesting. I've not actually played this before. So what's the deal with this? Do you literally just spin it? It spins? Wait, what do you even do? There's fireworks and everything. Oh, I know. Just like any other catch-up game, pretty much. You have to get the most spins. So, I know, let's try it again. You basically have to spin the fidget spinner well enough for it to spin the most times. So as you can see at the bottom, swipes remaining 4. Swipes remaining 3. Got it? Got it. Cool. But you don't want to spin too much, otherwise you'll run out of spins. Swipes remaining 2. There's so much spinning going on, I know. Oh, we've upgraded. Cool. So we've still got one left. New best. Cool. 41, 42. Brilliant. 42 spins. Way! That's a lot better. Oh, so I know what the idea of is. So you have to spin the spin. Bear with me. You have to spin the fidget spinner as much times with as less swipes. So you only get like 5 swipes or something, and you just swipe the screen and make sure this fidget spinner spins the most times. I think that's pretty much it, really. It really couldn't be more simple than that, but it's quite fun to play actually. So I know, let's go and give the phone a test. So we'll load up Antutu Benchmark. Oh, first up, I just have to install 3D Bench as well. For some reason, I can't do the test without installing that, so that's the thing. So whilst that's installing, let's go and do something else. Let's go and play Real Racing 3. Hopefully it'll pass the time a bit. Welcome to Real Racing 3. Tap to continue. Tilt your device left to steer left. I'm just guessing, if you tilt your device right, does it steer right? Yep, now still weird to the right. Do people really need to know that? We're starting off with assisted acceleration and braking, so I think you don't even have to do that. You literally just have to steer. So if you're steering the right way, you're sorted. That was a bad idea. I got the volume thing in the way. Okay, looks like it's go time. Okay, let's go. Cool. So as you can see, 3D performance is, let's just call it questionable. This game has really clear graphics, like really realistic, like console or gaming PC like graphics. So it's struggling a little bit with frame rate. The screen looks nice, but let's just crash through here like the crazy people we are. Come on, let's get through. Come on. Out my way, Mint Crystal. What a name is that? Mint Crystal. Propeller ... Out my way. Move. Shoo. We're 7th. We're 7th. Tap the icon in the top right to change the camera. No, go away. We just want to play. Go away. So I think that's enough of that. We can tell it's not really that playable for Real Racing 3. If you found a 3D game with maybe less advanced graphics, it'd be far more enjoyable for playing on this phone. So let's go ahead and test out Antutu Benchmark. You probably can tell it's not going to be 60 frames a second, let's be honest. But I won't show you the whole thing, it's not really that interesting. I'll just show you what you really came to see, and that's the score. So at the end, the ZTE Blade V7 gets 36,856. So for 3D it gets 5,381, for UX it gets 14,625, for CPU 12,207, and RAM 4,643. So you can expand these scores and have a little look more in detail. You can look at all those, I can't be bothered to read all those out. So what do I think of the ZTE Blade V7? I think it's a really strong smartphone with a range of features. Its strong points include the 5.2-inch display, whereas most phones for this price range have a 720p display. This one upgrades it to 1080p, which just makes the text a lot more sharper. You can't see that little pixels on the screen, and it makes it really good for watching YouTube videos as well on full screen. You get the full 1080p resolution, makes it a lot more enjoyable to watch. The display is nice and vibrant, and the contrast is also pretty good. Another strong feature of this phone is the 13 megapixel rear camera. It produces really nice sharp vibrant pictures, which especially for using outside is really strong. If you enjoy taking a selfie, the front facing 5 megapixel camera is brilliant for things like Snapchat and just general selfies. Both cameras suffer a little bit when it comes to low light. They don't work particularly well when it comes to focusing in. Sometimes photos can be a little bit blurry if the lighting isn't brilliant, but for the most part the camera really does impress, with nice vibrant sharp pictures which the colours really pop out. Performance wise, the phone seems to perform pretty well for everyday usage such as social media, music, all that sort of thing. It seems to perform fine. The general operating system, the Android 6.0, seems to run nice and fluidly. It doesn't seem to glitch or lag when you're using it, which is good. For gaming, the phone is able to handle basic 3D and 2D games well. If you want to step it up a gear into real racing, it doesn't seem to like really heavily advanced graphics. But as long as the graphics aren't too complicated, it should be able to handle most games. One thing I haven't got to mention about in this review yet is the battery life. The battery life seems to be pretty good as long as you don't have it on full brightness. If you stick it on full brightness all day, don't expect to get a full day's usage. But for regular usage on mid brightness, it seems to handle a full day's usage fine. Another thing I haven't mentioned on this phone is any of the sensors. So it's got an accelerometer, it's got proximity sensor, a compass, and for people who enjoy VR, it also features gyro. Most phones for this price range don't seem to have gyro. It is really weird, but without gyro you can't play most of the Google Cardboard sort of VR type games. But for any games that seem to handle advanced graphics, VR isn't really that playable. For VR games with basic graphics, it seems to handle it fine. The first thing you notice when handling this phone is how extremely lightweight it is. It shouldn't be ignored how light this phone is. It is brilliant. Considering it has a metal unibody, it really is nice and light to hold. Also, the shape of the phone makes it really easy to hold as well. It's not too chunky looking. Network wise, it connects to GSM, HSPA and LTE, so I've got it connected to 4G, no problem. One thing I would like to see on this phone is a fingerprint scanner. Unfortunately, that's only available on the ZTE Blade V7 Lite. If you're interested in using 2 SIMs at once, this phone is fully compatible with that, so you can have a home and a business SIM, or whatever you want 2 SIMs, or maybe like one for travel. Although if you want to use a micro SD card, you can't use 2 SIMs and a micro SD card. It's either 2 SIMs or 1 SIM and a micro SD card. Although if you do want to use 2 SIMs, like I mentioned previously, you can also use cloud storage such as pCloud. Another thing that I would like to see on this phone, which it doesn't have unfortunately, is NFC. Although NFC isn't exactly essential, the Bluetooth is still really easy to use. So overall, the strongest points in my opinion of the phone is the 1080p display and the 13 megapixel rear camera. Things that could be improved is the battery life. The 2500 mAh battery is okay, but could be better. So obviously in this review I can't cover absolutely everything. If there's something really vital that I've forgotten about, I apologise. I might make a follow-up video if there's enough requests for it. So if you've got any questions, don't forget to head over to the YouTube comments and post them right there. I'll be more than happy to reply and answer any of your questions you may have. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you're interested in buying the ZTE Blade V7, I've got some affiliated links in the description. Also, if you want to sign up to pCloud, I've also got a link there where you can get 500 gigabytes of cloud storage. So as I mentioned, any links in the description are affiliated links, so if you purchase anything, you'll be helping to fund any future videos, which is cool. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to thumbs up. If you want more of this sort of thing, don't forget to subscribe. As always, thanks for watching. This is James Whitworth signing out.